Okay, welcome to a chair yoga class that is all about the hips and the hamstrings, and we are going to stretch pretty heavily through both. So for today's class, you will need a strap or a strap-like object like a belt or a tie or a scarf, maybe even a towel. You'll also need, if you have them, a couple yoga blocks. And if you don't worry, you don't necessarily have to have them. You'll also maybe want a blanket for your chair. If your chair has a harder surface and you'd like that little extra cushion, definitely have a blanket on hand. Otherwise, you might not need that either. So we're going to start in a seated position here. So bring yourself toward the center of your chair. So not quite all the way forward and not quite all the way back, but somewhere in between. Option one, you can plant your feet to the floor, let your hands rest in your lap, knees facing forward. Option two, plant your feet to your yoga block so that you have a little bit of a lift here through the knees and the thighs are sloping down through the hips. Option three, to get a little bit of a hip opener and a stretch through the inner thighs, slide the blocks together, slide the feet together, and open the knees out to the sides. Let your hands rest in your lap. We'll take just a few rounds of breath here to clear the energy, to settle ourselves for our yoga practice, but we are not going to spend a ton of time in centering. I always find that, especially in a home practice with a video, it's very hard, very difficult to stay with it. So we are going to focus a little bit more on the physical side of things during this practice. But for the time being, bring yourself up to sit up nice and tall. Wherever you ended up with your feet and your legs, just let them soften and relax. And then go ahead and close your eyes down if you haven't yet. Take a full breath in through your nose. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale, open the mouth, sigh the breath out. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale, open mouth, sigh. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. One more time, biggest breath yet. Inhale deeply. Pause when you get to the top of that breath and see if you can sip in one or two more little sips of air. And let it go. Pressing the air out of the lungs. Holding empty for a moment. And then bring it back. And out through the nose. Let your forehead soften. The eyes, the cheeks and the jaw, the shoulders. Travel down the spine toward the sacrum, into the hip bones, to the sit bones, to the backs of the thighs that are touching the seat of the chair, all the way down to the feet. And gently blink open your eyes. If your knees are out to the sides, gently cup the knees with your palms and draw them back in. Feet can stay planted wherever they are on the floor or the blocks. We're just going to bring our hands over to our right leg. We're just going to interlace the fingers behind the hamstring and just lift the knee up just so the foot is hovering above the surface about an inch or two. And then from here, we're just going to gently sway that right knee out and then back in. And the hands are just here for support. If you feel like you don't need them, you can relax the hands down, maybe grab the chair. We're just swaying that leg in and out. You can even maybe draw some figure eights here if that works for your brain. Sometimes my brain doesn't do that, but swaying the right leg in and out, in and out. Keep breathing. I'm going to go ahead and bring that right foot back down to the floor or the block. Same thing, other leg, left leg, you can use your fingers to interlace behind the hamstring. Lift the foot up about an inch or two and just sway that leg out and then back in. Same option, you can use one hand, you can use both hands, or no hands. Grabbing onto the chair, maybe just to help with a little bit of stability. So we're just getting some movement into the hip joint, just so that we can get some fluids moving through the joint. It's almost like if you know somebody who is a car person, it's like making sure that your car has oil. And then go ahead and bring that left leg back in, plant the foot down. Moving back over to the right leg, lifting the leg up, extend the leg forward, and flex the foot and point the foot. So we're just going to move between flexing and pointing a few times. Just keep it going, keep moving. Flexing, meaning drawing the toes back, that's your dorsiflexion. And if you point the toes, that is your plantar flexion. And then keep moving back and forth. And just when you point your toes, see if you can point your toes to the point where you feel a little bit of a stretch through the top of the foot here. Not so much that you cause a cramp in the bottom or the top of the foot, but just maybe get a little bit of a stretch through the tendons of the top of the foot. Good. And then go ahead and relax the foot, and you're just going to take some circles through the ankle. Circling the ankle, switching directions, moving between the two directions, if that feels good. Circle, 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 and then bring the foot back in. Planting it down, block or floor. Left leg lifted up, extend the leg out in front of you. Same thing, just a few rounds of pointing and flexing the foot. And really taking your time here and being mindful of these points and these flexes. So when you point, see if you can really stretch forward through the toes, getting the top of the foot, and flexing, drawing the toes back toward the knee so we get the back of the leg a little taller. And then keep it going, pointing and flexing. And you may notice that some of your muscles feel maybe a little bit fatigued already. That's okay. We're just kind of isolating some movements here, especially like in the calf muscles and a little bit around the hips earlier. Promise we'll stretch it all out. Okay, bring that foot back to a neutral position and then just circle through the ankle. And switching directions. Moving between the two, whatever feels good here. Good, and then bring that left foot back in. Now bring your feet to the floor if they were up on the blocks. Widen your knees out to the side. And again, making sure that your bottom is in toward the center of the chair, not quite all the way back, but not quite all the way forward. So now that we have our legs drawn out to the sides here, make sure that the toes are also pointing out to the sides, same direction that the knees are. Sitting up nice and tall here, just start to do some barrel rolls through your chest. So letting the chest come forward, shifting the ribs off to the side, and then rounding through the back, ribs going the other way. So barrel rolls, you can call these soupy spoons. Imagine your spine is a ladle and you're just stirring a big pot of soup. And then switch directions and go the other way. Just getting that spine nice and worked out here, warming it up, working out some of the kinks depending on what time of day you're doing this practice. If it's morning, maybe a little stiff getting out of bed. If it's night, working out those kinks so that you can fully relax. Good, and then bring yourself back to center. Inhale, circle your arms out and up. Bring your palms together and exhale, draw the prayer down to your heart space. Inhale, circle the arms out and up. Exhale, prayer comes to heart. One more time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come to heart. Good, go ahead and inhale, reach the arms all the way back out and up, but pause with your hands about shoulder distance apart, palms facing one another. Reach through the ring fingers. So you may feel the hands tilt just a little bit, so the thumbs move back in space as the ring fingers move up. Reach, 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 reach. Let your shoulders shrug up toward the ears. Take a full breath. And then exhale, relax the shoulders down. Now breathe in here with the relaxed shoulders. Now as you exhale, reach your fingertips forward, lean your chest forward, but don't come all the way down, just reach forward. And then as you inhale, rise back up. Maybe look up toward the fingertips. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, lift up. One more time, exhale. And then inhale, reach up. Good. This time as you exhale, go ahead and let your fingertips come forward and then down toward the blocks. You can move the blocks up to their second or highest height, I would say. And then bringing your palms to rest on top of the blocks. Just let your sternum move forward in space, so the chest, the heart to move forward. Keep your gaze ahead as well. So we're not looking directly down toward the blocks. We're still looking maybe a couple feet ahead of us. Take a full breath here. And then as you exhale, get a little bit of movement here, swaying your upper body side to side, toward the left thigh, toward the right thigh. Keeping the spine nice and long. It's going to naturally round a little bit just because we are leaning forward, but try to keep the shoulders drawing back, the chest lifting up, the neck nice and long. Good. Sway your body back through to center. Take a full breath here. And then as you exhale, maybe soften the elbows and let your upper body come down maybe a little bit further. You can keep your palms to the blocks. If you have this in your practice, maybe bring your forearms down to the blocks here. And allow your upper body to just kind of melt here up through center. Down through center, I should say. Inhale, plant your palms back to your blocks, lifting your head and your chest up. Walk your hands up to your knees or your sides and carefully lift your head and your chest all the way back. Slide your feet in. Press down through the feet. Take a full breath. And out. And then this time, inhale, go ahead and stand up. Good. We are going to come down to the mat. So turn yourself to the side so you have your chair next to you. Bring your hands down to the seat of the chair. And then go ahead and maybe slide the chair away from your mat so it's no longer on your mat. And then carefully bring yourself down to the floor. I'm going to move my chair off to the side here. Okay. Blocks can go as well. So while we're down here on our mat, we will want our strap. So go ahead and grab that. Before we actually lay all the way down, this might be helpful for you to place the strap around your right foot before we even come down to our back. And just make sure that the strap is around the base of the ball of the foot. So it's not toward the center of the foot where your arch is. It's a little bit higher, but not quite as high as the toes. And then holding that strap to that foot, go ahead and carefully recline back. Once you come down to your back, extend your right leg up toward the sky, just letting the strap dangle here. It's not really doing a whole lot for us at this moment. While your right leg is extended up, bend your left knee and plant your left foot. Go ahead and flex that right foot strongly. So remember the dorsiflexion, drawing the toes down toward the kneecap, up toward the torso. And then press the heel toward your ceiling. So you may already notice that stretch through the back of the leg. We're going to intensify that a little bit here. Go ahead and place your right hand around the right side of the strap, left hand around the left side. Slide your hands down the strap so your elbows come down toward your lower ribs. And then carefully, just using the strap as a little bit of a guide here, draw your toes toward the wall behind you just until that first hint of sensation of stretch. Keep as deep of a bend in the knee as you need to. This really does not have to be a perfectly straight leg. If anything, I prefer a deeper bend. And you can just keep your hands as they are. If it feels better in your body to wrap your hands up around the strap once or twice, feel free to do that too. So we're going to stay here for a few rounds of breaths. So go ahead and just keep breathing in and out through the nose. And then whenever you feel ready, you can take a big breath in. And then exhale, draw your right leg in just a little bit closer toward the wall behind you, getting to that next point of stretch. I really like to work from the ground up when dealing with the legs and the hips and actually the rest of the body, because it kind of all starts somewhere, and it's best to work from the ground up so we can kind of warm up the feet, warm up the calves, and the hamstrings, hips. Good. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release the tension on the strap, letting your right leg come forward. Take both ends of your strap over into your right hand. Now keeping the right arm nice and long here so the elbow is straight, but not locked. Taking both ends of the strap in the right hand, start to turn your right toes out and your right heel in, so that we're already, even though the toes are moving, that's kind of the cue that I'm giving you, we're actually externally rotating it through the hip. So instead of thinking about the foot, let's think about the hip. So bring your hands down, kind of cup your right thigh, and we're just going to help externally rotate that hip out to the side, and then you'll see that the knee and the toes will follow. And then bringing your hand back up to hold onto the strap, keeping those toes turned out, the heel turned in, open that right leg out to the side, any amount that feels good. I like to bring my right elbow down to the floor for a little bit of support here, but if that doesn't feel good in your body, you can just hold on to the strap. Left hand here is going to stay on the left hip, just to help keep that hip down. If you notice that you're kind of letting the left hip lift up toward the sky, we're rolling over to the right. Maybe draw that right leg up a little bit more. It's kind of like finding a balancing act on a seesaw. So making sure that that externally rotated hip stays externally rotated, you'll get a lot more stretch and sensation through the inner thigh that way. Take a few rounds of breaths. And then when you're ready, go ahead and inhale, lift the right leg all the way back up, squaring your toes off, taking that external rotation out of the hip now. Now take both ends of the strap over into your left hand. Right hand is going to come down to kind of hold on to that right hip, doing the same job that we just did with the left hip, keeping it down. Cross your right leg over the midline of the body toward the left a few inches, targeting the outer thigh here. And with your right leg as is, keep it where it is, and then this left foot, start to toe heel it toward the center of your mat, an inch or two. And then go ahead and unloop your right foot from the strap. So the strap is no longer around the foot. Release it. And then let the thighs come together. Relax your right leg. So now the legs are crossed. From here, take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, lift your head and your chest just a little bit. Take your strap again and kind of toss it over the shins. Lift your left foot. Lift your knees in toward your chest and let your shoulders and your head come down. Couple options here with the strap. You can keep it around the shins, or maybe if you're feeling like a cowboy, like you can lasso, you can bring the strap around the feet. And then just use the strap to gently pull the legs closer toward the chest. Keeping the thighs squeezing together, feet kind of moving outside to the opposite direction of the other. Getting a nice deep stretch through the outer right hip. Big breath in. And then exhale, go ahead and release. The strap now is going to come off. Uncross the legs, let your feet come down to the floor. Now we're going to do the same thing the left side. So now here we have to be that cowboy again and lasso the foot. So or like a jump rope. Bringing the strap around the left foot, lifting it up toward the sky. Right hand to right side, left hand left side. Pull your hand down the strap, guide your toes toward the wall behind. Breathing, take a full breath in. And then exhale, maybe draw your toes in to the wall behind you. Nice bend to the knee. Staying here for a couple more moments of breathing in and out. And then gently releasing the tension on the strap, letting the left leg come back up. Take both ends of the strap over into your left hand. Actually, let go. Place your hands around your left side. We're going to externally rotate. So pressing your left hand into the top of the thigh so it moves out to the side, and then pulling with the right hand behind the hamstrings. So now the knee turns out, the left toes turn out. Now grab the strap with your left hand. Right hand comes to the right hip. Start to open that left leg out to the side. And I hit a wall, so I'm going to stay here, but you can go as wide as you comfortably can. Keeping this right hip down to the earth. So remember, we kind of have to find that balancing act on the seesaw here. Making sure that the toes are turning down, the heel is up. And then breathing in, lifting that left leg all the way back up, squaring the toes, taking that external rotation out of the hip. Move the right hand to grab both ends of the strap, left hand down to the left hip. Start to cross the left leg over the midline toward the right a few inches. Just until you feel that stretch through the outer left thigh, maybe even into the left hip. And then from here, go ahead and remove the strap from the foot. Keep the left leg over to the side, toe heel the right foot in just a couple inches, and then let the thighs come together, relax, bending the left knee, crossing the legs here. Take a full breath in. Exhale, lift your head, peel your shoulders up away, grab your strap and lasso your shins to start, and then pull your left foot up above, your right foot away from the earth, maybe bringing the strap around the shins or around the feet. Using the strap to gently pull the legs in toward the chest. Okay, go ahead and gently release. Removing the strap, setting that off to the side. We are done with it. And then we're going to come back up to a seat. So uncrossing the legs, roll yourself off to one side or the other. Press your way up so you're now seated. And then if you still have your chair nearby, place your palms to the chair and carefully and pull the way back up. So now we will want our chair here to face us. So place your chair down so that the seat is facing you and you have the length of the mat behind you. Blocks can come down to the floor. And we have the seat of the chair ahead of us now. So bring yourself about a foot or so behind the feet of the chair. And when you're ready, take a few rounds of our sun salutation. Inhale, circle the arms all the way out in. As you exhale, bow forward, bring in the palms to the seat of the chair. Inhale, move your sternum toward the back of the chair. Exhale, soften the elbows, let your upper body come down. Press your palms down. Inhale, lift your head and your chest. Lean your weight back into the heels, or move your hands from the seat of the chair toward your hips. Inhale, lift your head and your chest all the way up, circling your arms when you get there. Exhale, palms forward and down. Inhale, heart moves forward. Exhale, chest and head bow. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Lean your weight back into your hips. Bring your hands to the hips. Keep your spine long as you rise up. Inhale, circle arms up. Exhale, hands forward and down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to hips. Lift your head and your chest. Reach your arms toward the sky. Palms press. And exhale, bring your palms to your heart center. Take a few rounds of breath here. Good. Go ahead and release your arms down along your sides here. Grab your blocks. Place them on the seat of your chair. Good. So from here, bring your palms to the blocks that are now on the seat of the chair. Lean your weight over into your right foot. Soften the right knee and start to extend your left leg back behind you. Couple options. You can stay up on your hands, or if it feels better in your body, you can come down to your forearms and wrap your fingers around the back of the chair. And we're not worried about getting this left leg super high. We just want it lifted off the ground and back behind us, because we're going to point and flex the foot a few times. Keep that right knee nice and soft. So this right leg is actually doing a lot of work here, keeping us stable. And then go ahead and relax the left foot, circle through the ankle a few times. Switching directions. And then point your left toes again. Imagine you have a paintbrush in between your toes, and we're going to paint circles on the wall behind us. Start out really small, and we're moving the whole leg again, moving from the hip. Good. Switch directions, go the opposite way. My brain doesn't like this. But it's good that we do this, because if our brain doesn't like it, it probably means that we need to do it. Good. Go ahead and relax. Bring the knee in and forward, stepping the left foot down. Reset here. Take a few breaths. Maybe swish your hips from side to side. Good. And then come back. Right leg is going to sweep back. So left leg is our stabilizer now. Keep that foot firmly grounded, knee soft. Sweep the right leg back behind you. Start to circle through the right ankle. Oh no, we were supposed to point and flex. Sorry. Point and flex. Point and flex first. And then circle. Circle the other way. Good. And now point the toes again. Imagine you have that tiny paintbrush in between your toes, and start to paint some small circles. The whole leg is moving from the hip. Switch directions. See if our brains like it on this side better. And then go ahead and bring your right knee forward, planting the right foot down, letting your hips sway from side to side, maybe lifting your toes, turning them out. Whatever feels good here. Good, and then come back to center. Lift your head and your chest all the way up. Bring your palms to heart center. And we're just going to hula hoop through the hips. So nice and slow. We're not vigorously moving, we're gently moving. We have an imaginary movement that defies gravity. And then go the other way. I really need to decorate down here. It's on my list. Okay, go ahead and bring your hips back to center. Bring your palms back down to your blocks. Same option, hands can stay down, or you can walk your way down to your forearms and just pick your fingers around the back of the chair. Right leg is now our stabilizer again. Extend your left leg back behind you. Again, not worried about height here, but just bring it back. Now flex the foot strongly this time. Bend the knee so that it comes forward next to the right knee, but your foot is still kicking out to the back. As you inhale, lift the knee out to the side like a dog at a fire hydrant. And then exhale, squeeze it back in. Inhale and open. Exhale in. Inhale, open. Exhale in. Two more. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it in. Release your left foot down to the earth. Reset. That right hip just did so much work. Now we're going to move it even over to the left hip. Weight over to the left foot. Float your right leg back behind you. Flex the foot. Bend the knees forward so it comes next to the left knee. Keep that right foot firmly flexed and kicking back. As you inhale, lift the knee out to the side and you mount. And then as you exhale, slowly squeeze it back in. Imagine that you're meeting resistance as you bring the knee back in. Inhale, open. Exhale, meet that imaginary resistance and bring it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, in. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Release the right foot down. Sway your hips from side to side. Pivot on the heels. Whatever feels good. And then slowly walk yourself up to your hands if you were on your forearms, and then lift your head and your chest all the way back. Good. Okay, so we're going to come into some Warrior 2 sequencing. We're going to keep the blocks as is. Let's start with our left foot. So go ahead and step your left foot forward so that it's underneath kind of the center of the chair. And then step your right foot back so you have a little bit more space between the heels. The right toes are facing out to the long edge of your mat, as are your hips and your chest. So look forward toward this left leg now. Toes are facing forward. Knees should also be facing that direction. Nice and slow, bend the knee so that your shin bumps up against the seat of the chair. Keeping that right hip hugging in. We're actually going to play with this a little bit. So bring your hands to the tops of your hips, so where you feel your hip bones here. And then you're just going to dip that left hip bone toward that left thigh. So the right hip kind of sneaks out to the side. And then we're going to sneak that right hip back in and lift up out of that left hip. So when you dip that left hip bone toward the left thigh, you're kind of collapsing into the joint. We're doing this intentionally because I want you to feel the space that we create when we lift up out of it. And we're hugging that right butt cheek in. So let's do that a couple more times. So laterally tilting the hips toward the left. You kind of might feel a little pressure in this joint at this time, but then think about when you hug that right hip in, the right glute in, you feel a little bit more space, a little bit more open through that left hip. One more time just so you can really feel it. Left hip tilts forward and then bring it back up. Shoulders are stacked over the hips. If you ever have a chance to do this in front of a mirror or film yourself while you do it, you'll really see. But then let's come back into our Warrior 2. So left knee bent, hips are nice and strong. You've got that space in that left hip joint. Open your arms up and gaze over your left knee. Shrug your shoulders up and exhale, let them go. Take a full breath. Exhale, bring your left hand forward to the blocks. Right arm reaches up and over that right ear. From here, think about creating liftings or pressing down those blocks. And we're not struggling down, we're pressing down to lift up. And then start to slowly straighten out your left knee. Keeping in mind, trying to maintain some space in that left hip crease. And then nice and slow, you can look down if this helps. Bend the knee, tap the chair. Straighten the knee out. Bend the knee, tap the chair. And straighten. 2 more, bend the knee, tap, straighten. Bend the knee, tap, straighten, pause here. Reach your right fingertips up towards the sky. Maybe look up towards the fingertips, or you can bring your right hand to your right side. Roll that right shoulder back. For triangle. Nice straight left knee. Maintaining a nice long spine. Neutral gaze, neutral neck. Exhale, soften the left knee. Carefully soften your back knee. Take a few baby steps or one big step on your right foot forward. So we're gonna do the same thing other side. I'm gonna turn around so that I'm still facing the camera. Now our right foot is going to come forward underneath the chair toward the center. The left foot will step back so we have space. And then looking forward toward the right knee, carefully, we want that knee to be moving straight ahead. So if the knee kind of dips in toward the side or dips out to the side, that can be a sign of weak or tense hip muscles, or even hamstrings or quads, really anything. So we're going to pay attention here and use the muscles to hug in toward the bones, and then move that knee straight ahead till it taps the chair. And then we're going to play with our hips a little bit here. So open your chest, open your hips toward the long edge of the mat, adjust your feet. So now we're going to take that little bit of play time so that we can really feel into that right hip crease. Because for now, we're going to dip the hips over toward that right thigh, maybe feel a little compression here. And then we're going to hug that left hip in, lift up out of the joint, create that space right in that hip crease. You may even bring your fingertips there and notice if you tilt the hips over and then squeeze that left hip in and then over and then in. So you'll notice you're kind of pinching your fingers as you lean your hips over, and then you're releasing that pressure. It's the same thing on the hip flexors. One more time, I think. And then bring it up. Good. So now we have this space. We're lifting up out of the joint. We're going to open the arms up, warrior 2. Shrug your shoulders up through your ears. And then exhale. Take a full breath. Exhale, lean forward, bring your right hand to the blocks. Still lifting, so we're pressing those blocks away. So you'll notice if you kind of dump down into it, let your gravity take you down, you're going to compress that hip joint. We want to lift up and out. So even though we are flexing through the hip, we still want to keep as much space as we can so we're not crunching. When you're ready, sweep your left arm up and over that left ear, extending into a side angle position. And then we'll start to straighten out the right knee, any amount. And then re-bend, tap the chair. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, re-bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend and tap. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. It's going to go ahead and inhale, straighten out the knee. Extend the arm up toward the sky so it's no longer on the angle, but it's up. You can even bring your hand down to your side if that feels best. Let that left hip kind of kick out to the side, but remember, press the blocks away, lift up out of that right hip. Opening the chest. Looking anywhere that feels good on the neck. Take a couple moments here. And then softly step, bending that front knee, bend the back knee. Couple baby steps, big step, bring the left foot forward. Stand all the way up. Good. Awesome. Okay, so the hip flexors themselves should be nice and warm, glutes also. We're going to stretch out the thighs a little bit more. So bring your chair to, I think we call this position 3, so that we have it facing the long edge of the mat. Widen your feet out, nice and wide. Toes turn in, heels turn out. Start to let your upper body come forward. You have your block still here. Maybe you can come down to the hand or the forearms. We're going to come into a wide angle forward fold here. If you don't like the blocks, you can totally get rid of them and just use the seat of the chair. So take a few rounds of breath here, folding the upper body down. If you like to add a little bit of dynamic flow into this posture, you can bend your left knee, let your hips move to the left. Straighten that knee, bend the right knee, move the hips over to the right, kind of skating from side to side. And then come back to center if you were skating, and fold maybe a little bit deeper. Bringing the weight into the heels. Toes turning in. Upper body soft. And then when you're ready, lift your head and your chest up. Walk yourself up to your palms wherever you are. Walk your right hand toward the center of the chair. Press the chair away. Start to open your chest to the left. Maybe stretch the left arm up or bring the left palm to the lower back. Undo it. Coming forward, left hand to the center of the chair. Stretch your right arm, opening the chest. Maybe bringing the hands down. And then go ahead and unwind from that twist and come down, take a full breath. And exhale, fold forward just for a moment. Inhale, sit up. Carefully step your feet together. Stand all the way up. And now we are at Shavasana time. So I'm going to let you take Shavasana on your own. You can, if this is before bed, maybe just go lay down. If you are a morning practitioner, you can come down to your back and place your legs up and sit in the chair. But I'll give you a few moments here with me in relaxation. So making your way into your favorite Shavasana position. I'll give you a couple moments here to get there, to get yourself comfortable, to utilize a blanket if you like. And then when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes down. Let your body soften, relax, and let go as much as you can without forcing letting go. This is less about force and more about surrender. Surrendering to stillness, surrendering to calm, surrendering to peace. You can't force these things. You can't make them happen. You can work toward it, and you can surrender to it. And this is where I leave you. Please stay in this Shavasana for as long as you like. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste.